Hi guys, Darth Deuce is here, back again with another Star Wars: The Black Series figure review. Today, taking a look at another one of the Comic Wave figures. It is the Star Wars Legends Mara Jade figure. I honestly, I never would have thought we would have ever gotten in the Black Series line. Fan favorite character from the old Legends stories, whether it be from comics, games, etc., novels. Very prominent character in the Legends continuity. So I'm happy to have a figure of her in the Black Series. Here is the box, the packaging that she comes in for the line in that style, like kind of book kind of looking style of packaging. Got a pretty nice image of the comic that she comes for with Dark Force Rising. I think I read this comic. It's been years. I'm pretty sure I have read these comics though. You get a fair amount of artwork there on the side there, artwork on the top, on the back, on the side there, on the bottom, and then you get that digital render rundown of the figure and the accessories, some more images. You can open up the box, another image right up there if you wanna read it, and then digital render of the figure. Again, wish this would have been a window. I don't like that so much, but you know, is what it is. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the packaging. So let's take a look at the actual figure, and I gotta say, I really do like this a lot. In my opinion, I think it's the best Mara Jade figure that's been produced, and the bar is not super high. There have not been very many Mara Jade figures released. I could be wrong, but I think only Hasbro has made Mara Jade figures, and all the previous ones have been 3¾ inch, and they're all really old. I think their newest one in 3¾ inch is still like 10 years old at this point, so not too hard to beat. But yeah, this figure does reuse a good chunk of the Jaina Solo figure. The Mara Jade's wave mate, Dr. Aphra, also uses a good chunk of the Jaina Solo mold from like 2017, which I think is kind of funny. I never would have guessed they would have gotten such mileage out of that mold, but it's one of the few older molds I think has actually aged quite well. And just like with Aphra, I think it works pretty well for Mara Jade here too. But getting in close and taking a look at the head sculpt and face print first, definitely my favorite part about this figure. I absolutely love the head sculpt and the face. I think it looks phenomenal. The face printing looks really great. Doesn't show up easily on camera and with my lighting, but in person it looks really stellar. Especially with this figure, you get no gloss. There's no glossiness to the face at all. So it looks really, really nice. So I'm happy they're starting to kind of fix that issue with the face printing coming off as really glossy on a lot of their figures. No gloss at all on this one. Looks really good. And I really like the hairstyle and hair sculpt as well. No paint in it, unfortunately. It's just orange, reddish orange, like plastic, I guess. But I do really like the sculpting. It looks really nice. Really nice styling. It looks good. You get this little piece here. I think it's free floating, I think. It may have been glued and I just took it off, I don't know. But it has these little goggles and this little scarf here. That is a new piece. You can't make her wear the goggles though. The goggles are a part of the sculpt of the scarf, and you wouldn't be able to anyways. They wouldn't fit over the hair. But that is a nice little piece there, and you get these little shoulder straps as well, which I think is a new piece. I guess I could be wrong, but I think that's new as well. Has a bit of silver paint detail, which is nice. Arms are new. So, because the Jaina Solo figure has sleeves, so she doesn't have any sleeves. Got the bare arms, and the hands I think look good, and I think the hands are new because she does have a vertical hinge in the wrist that Aphra and Jaina did not have. And the torso is pretty bland, and actually the rest of the figure is honestly pretty plain if I'm being honest. You got the belt, looks nice. Black torso, black legs with black boots. It's not too exciting, but it's pretty accurate how she looks in the comic for the most part. The only thing we're missing is kind of, she is supposed to have like knee guards and like a shin armor that she doesn't have. It doesn't really bother me personally that much. I think it still looks good. It is what it is. And she's been drawn in different variations where this is probably accurate at some point, so, or close enough, so it doesn't bother me, but something to consider, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think she looks good. The head sculpt definitely carries the figure quite a bit. If the head sculpt was bad and the face printing was bad, this figure would be bad, but it's really good. So yeah, I like that a lot. Articulation wise, you do have a ball joint and hinge at the neck, but you're not going to get any upwards motion because of the hair sculpt. She can look down a decent amount though. Not much pivot. Rotation that will be hindered a bit by the hair. Hinges at the shoulders, which move out to 90. They rotate. Single hinges at the elbow, move a bit past 90. Soles at the wrists. The right hand has a up and down vertical hinge. The left hand has an in and out horizontal hinge. Do have a upper torso joint, which goes back quite a bit. Goes forward just a little bit, pivots and rotates. Then you do have that ab crunch hinge, which works pretty well. So she can crunch forward quite a bit. Go back a lot, like inhumanly. And hip joints, they go out about that far. Kick out pretty much all the way. The right leg's going to be, well, not really that hindered by the holster, honestly. Swivel cut at the thighs. Double hinges at the knees, which bend very far. And then hinges at the ankle to go up, they go down, and they pivot. So really good articulation. Definitely the best articulated Mary Jade figure out there. You can do a lot of great posing and a lot of fun to pose for sure. So that's really great. In terms of accessories, she comes with the same pistol that every figure that uses this mold has come with. The Aphra and Jaina both came with this very Han Solo-like blaster pistol. I'm not sure if she ever uses a pistol like this in the comics or anything, but she uses a bunch of different weapons in different stories. I'm sure she would use this at some point. I think it works for her. It would have been nice to get a new pistol mold, I guess, but they need to reuse the belt, and this is the pistol that is sure to fit. So I think it works. I think it looks good, and it works. And you can store that in the holster, no problem. She also comes with her purple-bladed lightsaber. Kind of a weird thing, they did actually reuse the Jaina Solo hilt for Mara Jade, which is a bit unfortunate that they didn't do a unique mold for Mara Jade's hilt. The only reason it doesn't bother me so much is because I never realized, but this hilt and Mara Jade's hilt are actually pretty similar in design. So I will let Hasbro get away with it, but it would have been nice to get a actual new mold. She holds it best in her left hand, actually. You can get it held in the trigger hand as well, but for whatever reason, it's not as good as a grip. But it's still, you can do it if you want. But that looks good. The blade is the same color of purple that Jaina's blade is, but it's actually a different sculpt because this blade's a lot thicker than the Jaina Solo lightsaber blade for some reason. You can remove the blade, of course, and there's a hook on the belt so you can store the lightsaber hilt on the belt. So yeah, before we end off here, I guess quick comparisons. I don't have a ton of stuff to compare to. Here she is with her mold mate, or the one she takes a lot of her parts from, Jaina here. And then here is her wave mate, Aphra, who also uses a similar mold. You can definitely see the similarities, but I think these two figures are good examples of good reuse. I think this Jaina Solo body surprisingly works really well for both of these figures, where they still look pretty accurate for the most part, and it doesn't like ruin them in any way, and it doesn't come off as overly cheap, I guess. So that's pretty nice, I suppose. Here she is with probably the most accurate, or most the Luke Skywalker that makes the most sense. This is the comic series Heirs to the Empire Luke from the first wave of figures they did for the comic stories figures. And so that looks pretty good. I'll probably have them displayed together on the shelf more than likely. And then the only other Mara Jade figure I have, this is the 3 3/4 inch black series Mara Jade from years and years ago, which is still a good figure. I still like this figure. This one, gets my respect for getting a whole new mold. But you can see even though this one got a whole new mold, the designs are very, very similar. So I think this works out pretty well. This one did have the advantage of having the uniquely sculpted hilt and had her own uniquely sculpted pistol. But I think the accessories here work for her. You can see what I mean about the shin armor and the leg armor on the lower legs. It would have been nice to get that on the new Black Series, but not a deal breaker or anything like that. I was never a hater of the 3 1/4 inch head sculpt, but the new one, the new Black Sections Black Series just blows it out of the water in my opinion. The Black Series one just looks so much better. But yeah, overall, I do think, in my opinion, this is the best action figure of Mara Jade we've ever gotten so far, and probably ever will for a long time. I doubt any other company is going to be making a Mara Jade figure anytime soon. I doubt Hasbro's going to be making another one anytime soon. So if you're a fan of the character and you're a Black Series Sections collector, and even maybe if you aren't a Black Series Sections collector, but you're a fan of the character and want a good figure ever, I'd definitely recommend picking this one up. I think it's a really solid figure. Uses reuse very well and is a lot of fun and looks great. So yeah, highly recommend it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all next one. May the force be with you.